Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Autographs TTM. This is a post-Christmas episode, so everybody hopefully had a nice holiday. I've got 8 for you today, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, just some quick reminders. Follow me on Autographs TTM Bob. Don't forget about my Etsy store, laughwithdad.etsy.com. We've got lots of TTM items on there. That page is linked below. There's a couple of photographs. We've got mugs. We've got some notebooks. They make great gifts. Definitely want to check those out. And then don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss any of these future videos. I really appreciate everybody watching. It's great, and hopefully you're enjoying the videos. All right, before we get started, let's do a quick shout out. My friends over at Chris and Chris Collecting Cards had a contest a couple of weeks ago. My name was drawn and I got these cards. So the cards were just supposed to be of Roger Mason, but Chris and Chris were nice enough to send along these other cards. So really great. This is such a great community and I appreciate that. So definitely, if you have not seen their YouTube channel, it's Chris and Chris Collecting Car 8778. It's an excellent channel, very family oriented, so definitely check it out. It's great to hear parents and kids getting into this hobby. Let's kick it off with a Brewer, Dion James. So Dion was born November 9th, 1962 in Philadelphia. He was drafted by the Brewers in the first round of the '80 draft and debuted with them on September 16th, 1983. He played for the Brewers again in 1996. That was his final appearance as a Major League Baseball player. Some final stats: he averaged .288, had 32 home runs, 266 RBI. He also played with the Jinui, probably not saying that right, Dragons in Japan for a year. This came back in 13 days, so just under 2 weeks. That is a great return. Thank you very much, Dion. Right, next up is Jose Cruz Jr. Jose was born April 19th, 1974. That makes him 48. He was born in Puerto Rico. Grew up in Texas, where, of course, his father, Jose Sr., played for the Rangers. He was selected in the first round of the '95 draft by the Mariners. And he played the majors for 12 years, so a nice long season. Some final stats for Jose: average .247, 204 home runs, 624 RBI. He's actually currently the head baseball coach at Rice University. So Jose's card looks great there. I love that blue signature. That came back in 29 days. All right, let's jump over to football. This is actually one of my favorites. This was awesome to get this back. It's Rocket Ismail. He was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey on November 18th, 1969, so he is currently 53 years old. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 1991 NFL Draft by the Raiders, and he played his first season after college in Notre Dame with the Toronto Argonauts. So he did not jump directly into the NFL. He did play a year in Canada prior to making it into the NFL. He debuted with the Raiders in 1993, and he finished up with the Cowboys in 2002. His contract with the Argonauts, so his first year that he played, was a record for any football player at the time at $18.2 million a year. Definitely nothing compared to what they're getting today. Some of the awards that Rocket garnered over his career: he actually finished second in the Heisman voting in 1990. He was a Grey Cup winner, so that's the CFL champion and the MVP in that single year that he played with the Argonauts. Some final stats for Rocket: he had 363 receptions and 5,295 yards and 30 touchdown receptions, all within the NFL. So this looks awesome. Thank you, Rocket. Really appreciate it. Love this autograph. All right, let's talk about a Buffalo Bills player. That's Mark Kelso. Mark was born in Pittsburgh on July 23rd, 1963. He's currently 59 years old. He was drafted by the Bills in the 10th round of the 1985 draft. Played his final game with the Cowboys in 1993. Here's some stats for Mark, who was a defensive back. He had 30 interceptions, 322 yards in return, 2 touchdowns. He was actually named the team captain for all of the Bills' Super Bowl teams during his career. Post-playing career included both broadcasting and also coaching at the high school level, coached both baseball and football. The return came back in 12 days. It was a really nice return. He took my letter and wrote on my letter some of the things that he remembered in his career. Didn't even ask him to do that, so a very nice return from Mark. If you have not written to him yet, definitely worth it. All right, jumping right back into baseball, we got Steve Nicosia. Steve was born in Paterson, New Jersey on August 6, 1955, so he's currently 67 years old. Drafted right out of high school in 1973 by the Pirates. He debuted with those Pirates in 1978, and he finished with the Blue Jays in 1985. He played for the Pirates, the Giants, Expos, and the Blue Jays. He was actually a world champion with those Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979. Following a victory in Baltimore, this is kind of a cool thing to know, he can be seen punching a fan who was rushing the field and trying to take a catcher's mask in the World Series. So kind of a unique thing. Definitely like those Pittsburgh uniforms. They're kind of weird, but I do like the yellow and black. That return came back in 12 days. So thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. We're going to stay with baseball. We got Pete O'Brien. So Pete was born in Santa Monica on February 9th, 1958. He is now 64 years old. He was drafted in the 15th round of the 1979 draft by the Rangers. He debuted with those Rangers in 1982 and became their starting first baseman in 1983. He played for the following teams: the Rangers, the Indians, the Mariners. That's where his last game was in 1993. Final stats for Pete: he had an average of 261, 169 home runs, and 736 RBI. This return came back in 40 days. I did send out 2 cards, which is pretty rare for me, but I had 2 really good cards, couldn't decide. So this one looks great on the Mariners card. Next up, Jose Chico Lind. Jose was born on May 1st, 1964. He's currently 58 years old in Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. It's our second Puerto Rican player today. Jose was an undrafted free agent that started his career with the Pirates in 1982. He played for the following teams: Pirates, Royals, Angels, which was his last game in 1995. Unfortunately, Jose struggled a little bit with addiction to cocaine that eventually led to him to being released by the Royals and ultimately some time in jail. So hopefully Jose is doing well at this point. Following his playing career, he also managed the Bridgeport Bluefish. I know when I got this return back, there was a note in there that indicated he does now want $1 for each card that he's signing. So if you're sending out to him, make sure you throw $1 in there for him. I'm sure he would appreciate that. That return came back in 27 days. All right, a little bit of a newer football player. So Austin Collie was born on November 11th, 1985 in Hamilton, Ontario. He's currently 37 years old. Was drafted in the 4th round by the Colts. He also went on to play for the 49ers, Patriots, and then in the CFL, the BC Lions. He was hampered by multiple injuries, including several concussions that led to his retirement. Some final stats for Austin: 179 receptions, 1,908 receiving yards, and 16 touchdowns. Post-career, Austin went on to work for Cognitive FX, which is a concussion treatment center. So it's great to see that what unfortunately took him out of the game continues to be a part of his life where he can help others. So I think that's awesome. Return came back in 24 days. All right, here's my post-holiday sending out this week. So we've got Trent Green, Mike Munchak, Bubba McDowell, Curtis Duncan, and Michael McGreevy. Over here on the other side, I got Jose Mesa, Richard Hidalgo, Scott Fletcher, Josh Van Meter, and Lyle Mouton. So half and half football, half baseball. Hopefully we'll see those on one of these videos here in the next couple weeks. All right, as you know, I always like to share a little something from my collection. This is an autographed Meadowlark Lemon basketball, the late Meadowlark Lemon. One of the coolest guys and one of the greatest entertainers in basketball history. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So great guy, was very nice to meet. And he had this ball pre-signed, so I really love this. It's one of my favorite pieces. All right, here is last week's mystery autograph. I think this is probably one of the worst autographs I've ever seen, but it is Clay Buchholz. So nobody got it, but it's definitely an interesting signature. If you would have got it, I would have been very surprised. Right, so here is this week's autograph. So take a look at it. If you know what it is, go ahead and comment in the comments below. We'll see if anybody gets it. Find out next week. All right, one final plug for my Instagram channel. It's TTM Bob. Also, check out my Etsy store at laughwithdad.etsy.com. Got lots of TTM items for everybody to check out. We've got some mugs, some notebooks, definitely some fun items would make a nice gift. One more thing, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future videos. Until next time, may your returns be plentiful and your mail carrier think you're crazy. Take care, everybody. See you next week.